It doesn't seem like we're live. All right. So continuing on, last night I got an update from our boy Nicholas Orr, the fiction writer extraordinaire. If you are not familiar with the works of Nicholas Orr, you should be. He has the Operator series, and a lot of you guys in the audience I know are hip, and you're like, oh, the original Operator was from 2018, and then there's a part 2, there's a book 3, now there's a book 4. Book 4 is called Operation Whitefeather, part 1. Well, this is when I tell you that Nick informed me yesterday that Operation Whitefeather part 2, which will be book 5 in the series, has just been sent off for proof editing, or editing and proofreading. And so it's So the plan, shut up there, guy. So the plan, according to our boy Nick, is to have that book 5, available for Christmas purchases. And if you're sitting out there and you're like, book 5, I haven't even read book 2, or I haven't even read book 1.
I'm sitting here.
Need to get on it.
And I feel like Ric Flair because I am so excited for this book. I'm so excited to proofread this book.
That's because you read number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Numero quattro.
Yeah, so there you go.
Leaves you with a cliffhanger. So
that is that.
Be ready for that one.
You know, and if you really are into Nicholas Orr, you can go to officialnicholasorr.com. And, oh, my Lord, I'm going to have to talk to Nick Orr. That book 4 is not up on the official Nicholas Orr.
What?
site.
What?
You can go to Amazon from there, but
Yeah.
we're going to have to get on that.
And Audible, too. Look at that.
And Audible for book 3. Yes, book 3 is available as a paperback, as a Kindle, and as an Audible version. There you go. There you go. All right, cats and kittens. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the.
Wait.
Whoa, nope.
We've got a Q&A at the end of the show, so ask your questions. And obviously, the best way to do that is in the official Student of the Gun Discord server. Mm-hmm. If you're not in the Discord server, then you must not be on the email list because I send an email every single week saying, hey, we're live in the Discord server. Here's the link to join.
There you go.
If you did not receive that email, then you can easily get to the Discord server. Just go to studentofthegun.com/discord and join the server there. The title of it is Official SOTG Server. So there you go.
Kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. All right, Zach, go ahead and play the Duracoat music. All right, kids. What have I got for you guys today for the Duracoat finished firearm of the day? I have this guy right here. This is a Glock 17, and it is done up in a tiger stripe pattern. You see, it looks different than the normal tiger stripe. That's because there's not a lot of black in it. This one's got, and I took out the honey badger ammo. This one, unlike Alec Baldwin, I do check these things. All right, so this one has the desert tan, and it has the World War II OD green, and if you look closely, a little bit of gray in there.
Oh, yeah, I see the gray.
A little bit of gray. Gray is the third color there, so let's see. There's like a little bit there and a little bit up here.
Number 1 was green.
Yeah.
Right.
I got green. There's green the World War II OD green.
Yeah.
And then the desert tan and then some gray. There you go. So and if, as you should know, let's see. Let's do the camera thing here. Let's see if I can do the camera thing. All right. You see that? I've got the
You can't do the camera thing without pointing it at your face.
Yeah, there you go. So it also has the.
There you go. Yeah, buddy.
See that sight? See that sight sticking out? That is a freaking night vision accurate sight. There you go. You could do that too. You could do really cool gee whiz patterns if you went to Duracoat University, because they would teach you how to do that, and then you could do it, and you could be the talk of the town. So there you go. I see that Zach's typing stuff. Did you want to talk to people, or are you just going to put that in the show notes?
We probably want to say this out loud, because this was something that we mentioned when we first started the show, but I don't think we've mentioned it since.
We haven't done it in a while.
Exactly. Yeah. Is that you, yes, you, listening with your ears right now, can, in fact, be on this segment that we're talking about, the Duracoat Finished Firearm of the Week. That can be you. All you have to do is take at least 3 pictures of your finally finished firearm, and then put those in an email along with the make and model of the gun, and send that to info@studentofthegun.com. Put finished firearms in the subject line, and if we love it, it might make it on the show.
There you go.
Anything I'm missing?
I would actually love that. I would love to have somebody that did a good job on their finished firearm to jump on here and tell everybody about it.
I can think of a couple of people who would have some nice things to submit to us.
Yeah.
I've seen some... Not Chris, because he's a cheater. He's a professional artist.
That's the best kind. He's got some stories. And that would be awesome.
Oh, yeah. So, there you go. You guys can do that, and all the stuff's in the show notes. But seriously, if you want to have a super sexy firearm, if you want to have a firearm that is not ugly and is unique, and you can be happy to pass down to your grandkids, well, there you go, man. There you go. Duracoat Finished Firearms. And Zach and Jared, I didn't tell you guys this, but I contacted our friends at Duracoat. And next week, we're going to be talking about a whole new product, or a product that's not really new, but I don't know if everyone out there in the audience is aware of it.
It'll be new to somebody.
It'll be new to a lot of you guys. You're like, oh, when did they do that? And that's when I say, well, years ago, but you just didn't know it was in the catalog. There's so much in their catalog. Holy crap burgers. You could spend a year going through that catalog, doing different things, the anodizing, the duradizing, the Duragold, the Durachrome, they've got that, what is it? It's where it shimmers and looks like it's, depending on how the light hits it, it looks different. What's that called?
Iridescent.
Iridescent. Yes, they have. Thank you, Zachary. They have iridescent colors. And then they have, of course, the super flat stuff and the bold stuff. It's really just one click away. DuracoatFirearmFinishes.com. All right. In addition to those guys, we just talked about crossbreed holsters. I've got my G19 or G17 there. Of course, a 19 and a 17 fit in the same holster. You know that, right? Crossbreed holsters, if you use the promotional code SOTG, get a good holster, American made, by good people, and you save money. So win, 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 win. Brownells has everything you need to go in, on, or around a gun. Don't forget about those guys at Brownells. Text BRN to 55623. No, yeah, 223. 556-223.
There you go.
There you go. SDS Imports, the title sponsor for the show, is giving away guns. They're giving away guns, and if you'd like to be involved in the gun giveaway, this month it's the Bantam Super Sexy Custom 45. Go to SOTG Giveaway. That's SOTGgiveaway.com. And sign up. Sign up, hippies, and you could be a winner. But bing, bing, bang, boom. And, of course, if you go there, you can see the pictures of the Bantam. I did a review of it. I did an article about the Bantam. I did a detailed article, which is available on studentofthegun.com, and you can read all about it. So there you go. Last week, I reminded you guys that if you happen to have a High Point C9 or C40 or C380 or C whatever, see you later. If you've got one of those, they have custom grips that you can buy from them, Well, I talked to my boy Dave, and he said that in the very near future, I would have a set of custom grips to show off to you guys. He promised me in the very near future that would happen. So I'm going to hold him to it. All right, cats and kittens, it is time for me to be quiet and you to open up both of your ears and listen just a little bit louder.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a complimentary online training course called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. Get instant access by joining the Student Lounge for free at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of these questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
Oh, and I did not mention, but I should. Well, because I'm going to mention it for you guys, because you guys are cool. SDS Imports, I talked to my boy Dave there yesterday, and he said, you can't tell everybody the specifics yet, but we're going to launch and introduce a brand new model of firearm in December.
Woo!
Yes. And he said once we make it public, he said we will probably give one to your audience. We will put one in the giveaway.
Oh yeah!
So they've got a brand new gun that they're going to be launching in December, and you want to pay attention because it's pretty cool and it's affordable. Unlike
quality, that's affordable.
That's right.
That's what we're talking about here.
All right. Where are we going from here? Well, yeah, some scary stuff. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a confession. I have not been watching the Kyle Rittenhouse trial live on TV or on the internet or anything. You say, well, why not? Because I don't need to see it. Here's what I already know. People say, well, hey, did you hear what Obama said and what Clinton said and what this said and what that said about this and that? And I'm like, no. Well, you need to do that. And I was like, did they talk? Well, yeah, they went out and they gave a talk. And I said, then they were lying. Because I know them. And I know that they lie. I don't need to listen to their specific lies. They're wicked, evil people. And what I knew about, based upon, well, from the very beginning, when the prosecutors decided to charge this kid with first-degree premeditated murder, I was like, okay, this is a political witch hunt. There's no doubt about it. Nothing about the evidence that we know would indicate that this was premeditated murder. Not at all. But that doesn't matter, because in the United States of America today, we allow the wicked, evil left and their lying accomplices in the media to perpetrate lies, fraud, deception, and deceit. We've allowed them to pollute and poison the court system. Those guys, I didn't necessarily agree with everything those guys up there in Minnesota did, but here's the deal. They did not commit first-degree murder. They did not commit premeditated murder. There's no way that you can say that. And they did not choke George what's-his-nuts to death. Or he couldn't breathe. How do you know? Because he was yelling, I can't breathe. You're a moron. If that's your evidence, well, he was yelling, I can't breathe. Then he was lying. No, he wasn't. What do you mean he's lying? Hey, moron. You ever done the Red Cross CPR Heimlich training? Has anybody in the audience ever done that? I'm assuming almost all of you have, because that's how every company, office, whatever, that's how they satisfy. Jared, you did, right? When you were working for a company, you did the first day, the Red Cross CPR Heimlich, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do they do that? Because their insurance says, the insurance company comes to them and says, you know what, you'll get a lower rate if you put all of your employees through first aid training. And the company's like, rock on, we want a lower rate. How do we do that? Well, then they say, well, what do we do? Call the Red Cross. They'll send a volunteer over, and they'll do the basic CPR and Heimlich. Give everybody in your office little cards. You submit the paperwork to your insurance company, you get a lower rate. So, Jared, in the Heimlich, what is the universal signal for I'm choking and can't breathe? All right, if you're not watching the video, we're doing crossed hands under our throat. You say, well, that's dumb. Well, why? If you're choking, then you tell the person who's going to help you, I'm choking and I can't breathe. Moron! If you're actually choking, you can't make sound. People who are choking and cannot breathe can't talk. Ergo, if you are running around saying, and I witnessed this in the Marine Corps with the gas chamber, very first time in basic training, guy dropped his mask, dark green Marine, running around screaming, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And the instructors are just standing there and they're like, yes, you can. And they looked at us and they're like, can he breathe? And we're all like, yeah. How do you know? Because he's yelling, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Ergo, he's sucking in oxygen. Now, there's a difference between I can't breathe, and I'm having difficulty breathing. You can say those words. But the cops in Minnesota did not commit first-degree murder on George Floyd. George Floyd had a lethal dose of fentanyl in his system. The coroner even said he died of a drug overdose. But that doesn't matter, because we need to satisfy the wicked, evil left. We need to satisfy the lowest common denominator, because we've whipped them into a frenzy, and we have to have them under our control. The exact same thing is going on right now. The prima facie evidence is that this kid acted in self-defense. Well, how did he get that gun? Stop. How he got the main charges aren't he had a gun that he wasn't supposed to have. That's not the main charges. The main charges are premeditated murder, negligent homicide, so on and so forth. Based on the evidence that everyone in the world has privy to, there's no way you could convict this kid of that. But you see, that doesn't matter to the left, because they need to appease the thugs that they need to do their bidding. They have to appease the evil, wicked inner city element. And how do you do that? Well, you send people up onto the stand to lie. A lot of you guys out there in the audience have sent me messages over the last week or so. Hey, did you watching the Rittenhouse trial? No. Oh, well, because this guy went on the stand and said this. This cop went on the stand and said this, and it seems like a lie. So I went and I looked, and it's like, yeah, they're lying. Why does the media excuse the presence of criminals with guns and yet set out to crucify this 17-year-old kid? I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. Jared, have you? You should turn your microphone on. Have you seen
this whole time
the comparison? But so they're going crazy. How did this 17-year-old kid get a gun? And you're like, well, the guy who he shot was a convicted felon who was pointing a gun at him before he shot him. Why doesn't the media want to know how the convicted felon got the gun that he had?
It's a good question.
And the surviving attacker, there was 3 attackers that got shot. 2 are room temperature, and 1 survived. The surviving attacker actually went on the stand and admitted that he had a gun. Looked like a Glock 26. It could have been a 27, whatever. It was a mini Glock. He's a convicted felon, prohibited from owning or carrying or having firearms, but whatever. And that he advanced Rittenhouse almost, and if you watch the videos, if you watch the drone videos, the cell phone videos, hell, we even know that the FBI was there and that they were running drones with IR. We'll get into that in a second. But everybody who was there saw that Rittenhouse was trying to get away from the mob that was attacking him. He was attempting to retreat. But when you're surrounded by a mob, you can only retreat so much. And what happened was he was hit, struck, knocked to the ground. And he finally, he resorted to using the gun that he had to stop himself from getting his skull bashed in, getting stomped into the ground by a mob, and also to stop himself from being shot to death.
But they were just protesters.
Yes.
They were just protesters setting things on fire.
Yes.
I don't understand what your problem is.
So the media has no problem excusing the presence of criminals with guns. They have no problem excusing and ignoring arson, looting, graffiti, destruction of private property. Not going to worry about that. That's not the problem. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the problem. You see, the problem is, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit in my notes, is that the left, the evil schemers in America, they cannot allow this kid to be not guilty, to be found not guilty. If that means they have to perjure themselves, if that means they have to manufacture evidence, if that means that they have to sit on the stand and look at the judge and lie, then they'll do it. If that means that they need to intimidate the jury, did you guys, my sons, did you catch the cell phone video that was dropped into the Liberty Mastermind? I was going to share it, but I couldn't find a source. It's a guy in his car driving. I don't know where he's driving to. And he is telling the world via Twitter or Instagram Live or whatever that them jurors in the Rittenhouse thing, they better do the right thing because there are people in the courtroom with cameras, and we gonna know who they are. And so they better do the right thing. Do you know what? You guys I'll let you. You guys are mature adults. I'm going to let you judge for yourselves. And you say, well, you don't know where this came from, and yada, yada. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to drop this in here, and Zach, you just go ahead and the audio is short. It's only like 30 seconds or a minute or something like that. And the link will be in the show notes. So if you guys want to avail yourself to it, if you think you're like, Paul, you're full of crap. I don't believe you. I don't believe you, Paul. This is not something this is left-wing Trump propaganda or right-wing Trump propaganda. Okay, great. If you don't believe this, that this is jury intimidation, then okay, fine. But you need to listen to this. You need to listen. Do you have it? Were you able to open it up, Zach?
I have it ready right now. If you would like me to play it,
let the world listen. And of course, if you're watching live on Facebook whatever, then you can see it.
I ain't even gonna name the people that I know that's up in the Kenosha trial. But there's cameras in there. Yep. It's definitely cameras up in there, and there's definitely people taking pictures of the juries and everything like that. We know what's going on. So we need the same results, man. We need the same results. Justice for Dante Wright, justice for Alston. I ain't even gonna name the people that I know that's up in the Kenosha trial. But there's cameras in there. Yep. It's definitely cameras up in there, and there's definitely people taking pictures of the juries and everything like that. We know what's going on. So we need the same results, man. We need the same results. Justice for Dante Wright, justice for Alston.
Okay, so he wants justice for the criminal mob that was attacking this 17-year-old kid. He wants justice for the guy with the skateboard who ran up to he's 17, but he's a young man who obviously was holding a rifle. We talked about this previously, about who in their right mind attacks someone who's holding a gun. Like if you saw me standing like at the edge of a parking lot or at the edge of my driveway or whatever, holding a black rifle, would your thought be, I'm going to run up to that dude and I'm going to hit him? Probably not,
if
right?
I could get a vantage point from behind you where you couldn't see me. Yes.
Yeah. Where I'm going to chase that guy down and I'm going to knock him to the ground. And I don't, like I said, my mind can't really handle the lies. So I'm not watching this, but when this all went down, I don't know if you guys did. Well, I did. I watched the cell phone videos. I watched some of the unedited cell phone videos. The verbal assaults that were slung at this kid, they were calling this kid like everything but white and intelligent. One of the guys was calling him the N-word. Like, what kind of world do we live in today when we have to say that? Yeah, he's calling Kyle the N-word and so on and so forth. Chasing him down, throwing stuff at him. They hit him with the skateboard. They knocked him to the ground. Well, this gentleman in his car with his cell phone, he wants justice for those guys. I hate to break your heart, homie, but they got their justice. They weren't protesting. They were rioting. There's a difference. They were committing crimes, including assault. Why is a 17-year-old kid being held to a higher standard than adult rioters? Where are the public CNN broadcasted trials for all of the scumbag Democrat thugs that were burning the city down that night? Have you seen any, Jared?
Mm-mm.
Oh, no. And the surviving attacker, when is his trial coming up? Because he committed a bunch of crimes that night. He was a felon in possession of a firearm who committed he committed assault. He committed felonious assault against Rittenhouse by threatening him with a gun. When is his trial coming up? Have they filed charges against him? If not, why not? I don't, you guys, if there's some of you out there that are trying to be middle of the roaders, and if you're trying to be like the American FUD culture where, well, that kid should have known better than to go there, and that kid had no business being there. Okay, FUD. Okay, Elmer.
Ryan says they did bring up charges on the other guy.
Okay, so
but nobody cares about that, obviously.
When's his public trial coming up?
Maybe they already did it. I don't know. Ryan, do you know that answer too? Because I don't.
Yeah. And why are we watching the Kenosha Kyle trial live and playing out when this happened last year, and that filthy little piece of human excrement in Florida still hasn't stood trial. That was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago. No, it was 4. Does that seem odd to you? That filthy scumbag piece of human garbage in Florida that walked into the school, Marjorie Stoneman Parkman, whatever, 18,000 names. Why isn't that kid been convicted, put in the chair, and executed? What are we waiting on? Seriously, what are we waiting on? So, little Kyle here.
I have no idea.
They're like, boom, we're gonna get $1 million bond, and we're gonna and this scumbag kid, this minion of the evil, wicked state, down in Florida, is still languishing, hasn't even gone on trial yet. Seems strange to me. Doesn't it seem strange to you? Well, because this Kyle kid, he's like a MAGA right wing guy. We gotta crucify this kid, and quick. And why is that? Why are police officers and others willing to go on a stand and perjure themselves and lie? First of all, let's go ahead and talk about cops for a second.
Real quick, since you brought it up. October 20th, 2021, Nicholas Cruz pleads guilty to the massacre at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School.
Okay. And where's the trial?
Not
You still have to have a trial.
Control F, trial.
There you go.
It says he pled guilty, avoiding a trial but setting up a fight over his punishment.
Oh, okay.
A long-run case will be the next sentencing phase of the trial. So apparently they're just not going to do like the whole open court jury thing.
Okay. That means that, you know what that means? That means that his lawyers cut a deal.
Yeah, it's probably a plea bargain.
They cut a plea bargain. They're like, here's the deal. We'll to avoid the death penalty, we'll do a guilty plea with life in prison, or 2 life sentences, or 3 life sentences, or whatever. Okay, we know that now. I didn't know that. I have
not heard that.
#1 headline news?
Well, because
scumbag in Florida pleads guilty, goes to sentencing.
Well, you see Rittenhouse and vaccines, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
I'm also a bad person to ask because I don't.
We got to
to the mainstream news.
Yeah, we got to manipulate the masses over here.
Oh, here's a fun quote.
Go ahead.
Schreier says that he believed it was best to waive his right to a jury trial and just acknowledge his guilt.
Okay.
I mean, he's
That's
right.
cool.
All right, moving
All right,
on.
Getting back to the Rittenhouse thing. The reason, ladies and gentlemen, in case you're wondering, and this is stuff you will never see on television, the reason that the left and the evil schemers in America cannot allow Rittenhouse to be found not guilty, and if that means they have to lie, manufacture evidence, they're just going to do it, is because if he is found guilty, that would set a terrible precedent for them.
If he's found guilty or not guilty?
If he's found not guilty.
Not guilty.
If he's found not guilty, the thugs, the criminals, the ones who manipulate the thugs, that would set a terrible precedent, because people in America might actually start fighting back and defending their communities. And we can't have that. What we can't have in America is the citizens who live in the communities thinking that they're allowed to fight back and protect their families, homes, property, businesses against the thug mob. Can't have that. The state can't have that. The left can't have that. The media can't have that. The Democrat Party can't have that. They don't want to wake the sleeping giant that is the American people. Because here's the deal, and we all know this. Last year, we had thuggery and crime all across the nation. Cities were burning. Police agencies were told to stand down, to fall back, to not confront. So while the police ran away, the thugs ran forward and burned our cities down. They burned down Minneapolis. They burned down Portland, Seattle, St. Louis, Kenosha, Wisconsin, all across the country. We saw it. But here's the reality, and here's the thing that they know and they can't ever allow to happen. The people of those communities could have stopped that. The people of those communities could have confronted the thug mobs, the criminal Democrat mobs, and they could have stopped their cities from being burned to the ground. But we have them living in fear. You see, we have the common man, the citizen, so paralyzed with fear because, if you go out and you confront a mob of criminals, you're a racist. CNN will paint you as a vigilante. We will crucify you on television. We will send our prosecutors out to persecute you, not the people who actually set the city on fire, not the people who committed the vandalism, the graffiti, the destruction of property, the assault, all that. We won't worry about them. We'll worry about you. And that's a question you need to be asking yourself. Why does it seem like the state is more concerned with crucifying a 17-year-old kid than the hundreds and thousands of criminal thugs that took to the street and burned down our cities last year? Why did Joe Biden tell his Justice Department to waive charges and issue time served for thousands of rioters? Yeah, that happened. Why did Camel Toe Harris and her criminal minions set up special bail funds to bail out felons? And why isn't CNN talking about the guy who Camel Toe bailed out and then went straight out of jail and committed murder? Yeah, that happened. Why aren't they talking about that? Because it doesn't support their agenda. Because the media are liars. See, these are the things that you're not going to hear on TV. And when I saw this next story, Jared, you want to pull it up? It's JS Online, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel.
Yep, says Kyle Rittenhouse's defense questions whether FBI is withholding crucial aerial surveillance video. Kyle Rittenhouse's lawyer suggested Tuesday the FBI might have destroyed or is withholding aerial surveillance video of the Kenosha intersection where his client killed a man. Prosecutors are relying on some of that video for a key part of their case, but the defense suspects there may be more or better video that tell a different story. Rittenhouse, who's now 18, is charged with killing 2 men and wounding a third during violent protests in August of 2020.
Violent protests? You mean riots?
Yeah, his attorneys say he acted in self-defense.
This is the key paragraph I wanted you to talk about, Jared.
On Tuesday, prosecutors had called FBI technician Brandon Kramen, whom they had asked not be shown on camera because of sensitive issues related to his employment. Kramen, appearing in the courtroom with an FBI lawyer, testified he was in an airplane 8,500 feet above downtown Kenosha on August 25th, 2020, taking video with a special infrared camera.
All right, let's go ahead and stop right there. Let's go ahead and do a reality check. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has only the authority to investigate crimes which are what? Federal crimes. Now, I know this is going to be hard for you guys to understand because y'all went to public school in the last 20 years and you didn't learn anything. The FBI is not charged with investigating murder. Oh, yeah, they are. No, they're not. The FBI can only has the authority to investigate crimes that occurred that violated federal statutes. Murder, and I learned this, okay, this was reinforced to me 30 years ago when I went to the police academy. Murder is a state crime. Assault is a state crime. It is a violation of state statute, not federal, state. Arson, destruction of property, assault, simple assault, felonious assault. Every one of those things is a violation of a state statute. The state of Wisconsin, the state of Ohio, the state of Minnesota, the state of whatever. Why was the FBI there? Well, the FBI has jurisdiction everywhere in the world. They're like, no, they don't. Why were they there? Jared, throw that out. Go, give me a. Why did they? First of all, you say, well, they needed to investigate this Rittenhouse thing. Okay, they were there before it happened. Why were they there? They don't have any jurisdiction there. If there's a riot going on in a city, the FBI has no jurisdiction over that. You guys, you kids listening, have any opinion as to why they were there?
Nope. I have no idea.
Why is the FBI conducting surveillance of riots? That's not a federal crime. It's a state crime. They have no jurisdiction. So why were they there? And why is no one in the world bringing this up? Is everyone in the media a freaking dunderhead, a moron, an imbecile, an ignorant dolt? If I was a prosecutor, you wouldn't want me, or a defense attorney, you wouldn't want me up there because I actually know the law. I would say, let's go ahead and talk about why you were there. Who ordered you to be there? How did you know to be there?
Yeah, why there? Why Kenosha?
Why were you there? If it was going to be a protest, remember what CNN said, fiery but mostly peaceful. If this was as Rogan said, a rally, if this was going to be a rally for justice, if this was going to be a peaceful protest, why in the world is the FBI there? Is it the FBI's job to monitor peaceful protests now in America? Actually, no. The answer is no. I know that is no. So why are they there? That in and of itself stinks. Have any of you heard anyone on the television or the internet or wherever bring that up and say, whoa, stop. So this guy testified that he was in an airplane with a super special, $1 million infrared camera taking surveillance footage. First of all, how did they get the authority to conduct surveillance in Kenosha? Do they have a warrant? This is when you say, what? They don't need anything. They're the Stasi. They're the Gestapo. They're the KGB, man. They do what they want. The rules don't apply to them.
So nobody, the defense attorney didn't ask, like, why you guys there?
Everyone's just accepting it as if it's a given. That, well, yeah, of course they would be there. Why? If it was going to be, quote, as CNN said, fiery but mostly peaceful. If it's going to be a peaceful protest, a rally for justice, why in the world is the FBI there? Why are they flying an airplane over it? What authority do they have? Whoa, stop. Stop, Paul. You can't ask those questions. you're not allowed to ask those questions. Folks, the bottom line is this. We live in a country right now where, to the wicked, evil left, facts have no bearing on the outcome. We all saw what happened. We all saw the cell phone videos. We all saw the images. Most of us heard it. We know that this kid was betrayed by his team. Did you boys see the picture of the team? You boys' sons, I mean, Jared and Zach, did you see the picture?
I have seen no pictures.
Of his team?
Yeah.
Hollyby shared it on the socialist media.
I think that's where I saw it.
Before all this stuff went down, all the guys who were defending the car dealership, including Rittenhouse, who worked, well, he had no business being there. No, he actually worked in Kenosha. And I believe his like father or stepfather, somebody lived in Kenosha. And I brought this up last summer during a Facebook Live video. I said, why was this kid, why did he find himself all alone surrounded by this mob of thugs and Democrats? Where was the team? They're gone. They left him.
Hey, Zach, what's our time? I found something I want to talk about if we have time for it.
Our time is 50 minutes, so
Okay, I will not talk about it then.
maybe
All
tomorrow's episode.
Yeah. So
maybe we could talk about this on Wednesday. I found some stuff about the history of surveillance planes being used. And it goes all the way back to, there was a ruling made in 2018, and this story goes back to some stuff in 2014, the Ferguson riots.
yeah. All right. So, and that's what's interesting is the FBI could surveil. So they could surveil, but they couldn't do anything to stop the riots. The Kenosha Police Department, they sent people up there. They could come and arrest little Kyle afterwards. But where were they when this kid was being chased through the town? Well, what do you mean, Paul? Well, I thought that's why we don't. If you listen to Camel Toe or Sniffy Joe or any of their other minions, you don't need guns. That's why we have police. The police are here to keep you safe. It's their job, not your job. You can't take the law into your own hands. But this kid was being chased all over the place, rocks thrown at him, hit, knocked to the ground. Where were the police to keep him safe? So, they put the cops on the stand to say, okay, after you arrested the kid and you investigated, you interrogated him, blah, blah, blah. But did anybody say where were the cops when this kid was being chased down? Where were the cops when the businesses were being burned to the ground? Where were they? Doing other stuff? Isn't the Rittenhouse case an indictment against big city law enforcement? The big city law enforcement that just let this happen? That saw the thugs and rioters and looters and went the other way? What are they supposed to do, Paul? Crack their skulls. That's what they're supposed to do. No, you can't, because you see they're protesting racial injustice in America, and if you try to stop them, then you're a racist. Okay. Kids, you're welcome. I'm glad to be here for you and giving you the things that you will not hear on the TV or on the internet, but things that are important nonetheless. Wednesday, man pulls gun on pastor during Tennessee church service. Did you hear about this? Bet you didn't. Now, if there were 7 people dead in a church and a white kid did it, it would be nonstop 24-hour news. But if a person who's not white pulls a gun in a church. No one in America hears about it. Wonder why that would be, Jared. Why do you suppose that would be, Jared? Just accident, coincidence?
Yep, absolutely.
Has nothing to do with anything. Shut up. Stop asking questions. But we're going to ask questions, and we're going to do more than that on Wednesday. So, ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, remember, you're a beginner once.
You're a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.
And that was the first episode of today's recording session. Do we want to take like a 5 or 10 or 15 or 25?
Let's take 10. It's 10:10. We'll be back at 10:20.
All right, guys, we'll be back in about 10 minutes. We will see you then. We love you and all that good stuff. And yeah.
Poking the fire. It's cold as crap here today. It's windy, and I started a fire, and of course I couldn't tend it while we were recording, and it went out. I had to kick it back up a notch. Did it. So any hooser, Jared's phone is muted.
Yeah, Jared does that.
Or his not phone.
We know.
Microphone.
Yeah.
His microphone.
Oh, and there goes Lulu again.
There we go.
Know if she wants to be in here.
There we go. All right. Cat in the Hat, and that be that.
Buster Rhymes?
Buster Rhyme. Jared, did you see the slickety slack message about the shoot on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shoot off.
Ah, delicious.
Delicious.
Paxton just texted me. We're enjoying that peanut butter in Amish country. I told her definitely go to that Salt Creek Cafe because it's very good. I never got my freaking cream stick. They were closed.
That's right, you didn't.
They were out the last day, and then they were closed. By the way, this right here, I think that we need to discuss on a grad program. I will send it to you so you can read it. It's called Repressive Tolerance by Herbert Marcuse. And there's some things in here that are interesting. And kind of explain why younger society is the way they are today.
Yep. Well, first of all, we don't even know how to use the word tolerance anymore, or tolerate. We don't even know the meaning of the word. We think it's a positive thing. That's a good thing.
I think you'll enjoy reading this.
Okay. All right. Well, we've got notes for Wednesday, and I think we should go ahead and do the show. That's what I think.
No. All right, cool.
Yes.
Start. Let me update the title. And then
Did you get the
rockin'.
thingy in Slack?
Which one?
Dad.
Oh, Dad.
I don't want to talk about it live because it's like admin note stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out the best way to notify you of
Things.
Okay.
Where did I put that?
You put it in the radio channel.
Okay. Couldn't find it.
The vagueness is intense. All right.
Hello.
So, Facha, if you would like
Hello.
I'll take that as you're ready to begin. So, Jared, are you cool beginning?
Yeah, if we have a game plan of the notification deal.
Oh, right, that whole thing. Okay, yeah, I'll wait for Dad to acknowledge that, and then we will start.
Yay, Ryan fixed it. Thanks, buddy.
Huzzah. Ow.
All right. Huzzah.
Welcome, Butch. Are you here? And no, he's not here in the thing. Spine Raker. I like that name. We have a hot lizard, and we've got a Spine Raker listening right now.
Delicious.
I'm going to open up my stuff. Oh, Zach, by the way, if you can help me with this, what I'm doing in the Slack radio folder thing is when we use a story, I'm commenting with the episode number so that if there's questions or anything that we can go back and easily find it, but also it helps us know which ones have been used already and which ones haven't.
Smart.
So if you can help me do that, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, no problem.
Ones that are old that already have links, if we could drop a link to it, that'd be cool too, but that's not necessary.
Yeah, that'll take a while.
All right. Just so you know, I'm not waiting on you.
All right.
Or you're not waiting on me.
So are we 10-4 on the thing that we were talking about vaguely?
I guess.
Clearly
That was a question directed to you.
directly at you in your face.
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously the microphones are hot and you don't want me talking about it. So, yeah, I guess.
Did you read it in the Slack? And if so,
You
that
could
means that you
type
can
a thing like yes, no, maybe. I mean, we can talk about it. I don't really care. I just thought it would be quicker to.
Screw it. We're clearly not quicker. Do
Well,
you want me to give you 5-minute cues after 25
Yeah,
minutes?
just give me, yeah.
Got it.
Just, yes, do that.
All right,
I don't know why we weren't. We've been doing it. When
Well,
you
not
have
really.
to
It
take
was
a
more
crap
so-
or whatever,
it was-
you flash, it's time to go so I can,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. More so what it is
Yeah.
is when we hit 40 minutes is when I start giving you warnings. But if
All
we're
right.
trying to stay around 40 minutes, then obviously that's no good. All right.
we're not trying to sit around 40 minutes.
Anyway, moving on. Go ahead and start us off, Dad. In 3, 2, 1.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Wednesday's episode of Student of the Great Radio.
Student of the Great Radio.
Student of the Great Radio, Student of the Gun, episode 1107. Yeah, we are already halfway through November. What the farfigdugan? Oh, man, it's just crazy. It's crazy. What are we going to talk about today? Thank you for asking. We've got a Brownells bullet points for you. I went shopping. I went part shopping. We'll talk about that. We've got a Student of the Gun homeroom brought to you by Crossbreed Holsters. And we also should have time to talk about a topic that we were not able to address on Monday. That is more government surveillance and how, well, I'm going to go ahead and say you in America are way too comfortable with this. We've got all that and more on today's super cool episode of Student of the Gun Radio.
Welcome to Student of the Gun Radio, proudly brought to you from the SDS Imports Studio. If you want quality that's affordable, visit sdsimports.com. We don't just talk guns and gear, we also discuss current events and politics, because guns are politics. Now sit back and listen louder to your co-host, CEO of Full 30, Jared Markle, and your beloved host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Yes, indeed, it is I, your beloved host, Paul Markle. And if I'm not your beloved host, well, I don't know. Bye. Well, bye. See ya. Oh, if I'm not yet, I will be. I grow on you. All right. Got some tea with honey. My throat's feeling a little bit. All right. Questions and answers and questions. If you are in the Discord channel watching live and you've got something to say, then go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it. And if you're on the Fascist Book, watching live on Fascist Book, and you have something to say, the boys will monitor the comments. That is their promise to you. They are making that promise to you. All right, let's, I guess we can just jump right straight directly into the Brownells bullet points of the day, if that's all right with you guys. Boom, bing, bang, boom. All right, ladies and germs, it is time for us to talk about you know what I just did, Zach? I thought I was going to brownells.com and I clicked that hyperlink and it took me to the video. I didn't want to be in the video. I wanted to be at brownells.com because they have everything to go in, on, and around a gun. That's why. The reason that I wanted to go there is because I wanted to tell you guys or talk to you guys about part shopping. Somebody talking in the background there? Is that you?
I don't hear anybody.
It was my nose squeaking.
Oh, okay.
It's a squeaky nose.
Oh, man. Yes.
That's what deviated septums do to you.
I was shopping around, and there is a product called the Warhammer charging handle. I have not used a Warhammer charging handle yet, but I am going to. Something that seems to be a thing today. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but in order to make the prices of pre-assembled uppers, AR-15 uppers, seem, well, to make them seem more attractive price-wise, you get these emails. I know I do. And if you're like me, you get emails from the gun hawkers all the time, right? Derp, 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 completed upper, this, and you're like, ooh, that's an attractive price. And then you have to say, but what's missing? You see, it says $199.99 for a 10.5-inch pre-assembled upper. And you're like, yeah, righteous. Then you go to it and you're like, does not include BCG or CH. You're like, BCG or CH does not include bolt carrier group or charging handle. You're like, oh, that's why it's $199 because it's going to cost me another $125 for a bolt carrier and a charging handle. So the whole thing is going to cost me $395. Mother lovers. I don't know when they started doing that. It's been a while, but they started selling and promoting these, uppers, completed uppers, whether it's a rifle upper or it's a 308. You want to change your gun to 300 blackout, man? Here you go. Only $297 for this completed 300 blackout upper. No bolt carrier, no charging handle. Okay. So a lot of you guys may be thinking, yeah, I see these charging handles on sale. Why would anybody want to buy those? Don't the guns all come with those? A completed gun will. An upper, you gotta look close. Yeah, I'm gonna admit something to you guys. I purchased a completed upper the other day, and I read the description 3 times before I clicked the button to buy, because I wanted to make absolutely sure that it was going to come with a bolt carrier group. Now, I believe, Jared, check me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe that the bolt carrier group and the bolt scare or shortage or whatever is over.
I believe so.
Yeah, okay. I went to
the
parts page on Brownells, and they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so they have 12 various different kinds of bolt carriers groups, completed bolt carrier groups with the cam pin and the fire pin listed. So that tells me that, and there's several of them that are on sale. So that tells me that the great BCG shortage is over, that manufacturing has caught up. Is you say, well, what are you talking about, Paul? There's never been au contraire, mon frere. About, what would you say, Jared? Like last year at this time, you couldn't get bolt carriers. Couldn't get bolts, couldn't get bolt carriers.
You couldn't get barely anything, actually.
Yeah. Everything was out of stock. So that's changed, which is good because, well, if you're looking at a winter gun project like I am, then check out the Brownells parts page. And as we talked about last week, if you click the learn button, they gonna learn you. And one of the best ways for them to learn you is for you to just click on the build an AR-15 button. It says build an AR-15, and then it's broken down into 9 sections. And one of those is, what tools and parts are you going to need?
I like this because they give you a PDF with a list of everything. And it's actually, you can print it out and then you could put notes, the stock number, the price of the thing that you ordered, then ordered and received and whatnot. But it gives you it breaks it down by section. So it says, number 1 is select one of the following upper receiver options. You get complete upper receiver with barrel, or complete upper receiver without barrel, order barrel separately, or stripped upper receiver, order barrel separately. Number 2, if you're ordering a stripped upper receiver, then you need to order 2A, 2B, or 2C. And then there's just a bunch of stuff. And then there's a parts list, ejection port cover spring, cover pin, hinge pin, the snap ring, forward assist button, pawl pin, all this stuff. Yeah. It's just listed out for you so you don't miss anything. You're going to be able to have the whole kit there all at one time to put it together.
Now, if you guys are super old school, you're like, I don't do that internet stuff. Yes, you do, because you're listening to me. But if you want to go crazy old school, you can buy the actual physical DVD and have it shipped to your house. It's $24.99. I have a copy of it because I got a copy of it the very first year it was available, whenever that was. And it's a great video. It really is. It helped me a lot. And the nice thing about a DVD, I know you guys are like, I don't know that, is, and you guys are probably like, I can do it on my TV, is you can pause it exactly where it needs to be and then like go back and forth and back and forth, back and forth on your television, on a big screen if you need to. I don't know about you, but how many times have you gone into your workshop and you've been doing something and you're like, ooh, I should probably find a video. And I do that. So you get your phone out. You're like, and you set my phone sideways on the bench while I'm farting around, and I'm like, okay. And then I go back and forth and back and forth, back and forth. And the great thing about Brownells doing these how-to videos is they are professionally produced with good lighting and good camera angles. How many times have you wanted to do something and you're like, oh, there's got to be a YouTube video for that, right? And so you go to YouTube or you go to your search engine, you're like, how to dirt, 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 dirt. And you get 6, 9, 12 results. You know, how to install an M1 carbine bolt or how to disassemble whatever. And you're like, oh, cool, I'll grab the first one. And the guy's like, hi, I'm Bob. Today, we're going to take apart an M1 carbine. I don't know about you, but I like my M1 carbine. It's my favoriteest one. And like 3 minutes in, you're like, Bob, start taking that thing apart, man. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to adjust the phone now. So then he's like, you're like, well, that was a waste of my time. Next video. It can be a challenge. You're like, come on, man, it's free. I know it's free. But you know what? The videos on brownells.com are also free, but they're professionally produced in a real studio with good lighting. You're like, yeah, that is true. That is true. So if I were you, now I'm not you, but if I were someone who looked a lot like you, and I had a question about how to do this, that, or the other with a 1911 or an AR-15 or a Remington or an AK or whatever, the very first place I would go would be brownells.com, click the green tab that says Learn, and see if, before you go searching on YouTube for a video by some dude that you never heard of, and YouTube's kind of like Wikipedia, man. Anybody can do it. And anybody can say anything about anything. And just because a guy made a YouTube video doesn't necessarily mean it's the best, most efficient way to do that thing. You're like, oh, well, if he wasn't an expert, he wouldn't have access to YouTube. It's true. It's true. That's like going to Wikipedia and how many of you guys, Jared, Zach, did you guys ever do term papers?
Yes.
I don't even know what that is.
All right, we'll take that as a no for Zach. A report. See, back in the old days, when we did term papers and reports, we had to list sources.
Yeah.
And it had to be more than just the encyclopedia. Because the easy thing was to just go to the library, pull down the encyclopedia, say, yep, there's my source. And the teacher would say, you need 2 more. Two
Yeah,
more.
I think like MLA format was three
Yeah.
plus sources or something.
You have to have three
remember.
sources. I'd have three sources, but the Encyclopedia Britannica said that. They wouldn't put it in there if it wasn't true. It's kind of like doing a book report now or doing a term paper and using Wikipedia as your main source. And you're like, that's it. That's the end of story. Right there. Oh, man. Now I'm going to be sad.
Yeah.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because you know who hosted the AK how-to video on brownells.com?
Who?
West Doss.
Oh, you're going to be double sad then.
Why? You got another one for me?
Yeah.
What's
Zach
that?
did. Zach dropped the second one in there.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Alan Mossberg, chairman of Mossberg, has passed away, and rest in peace. Alan was not a spring chicken. He
was 89.
He was 89. He was 89, the same age as your grandfather. No, I'm a liar. Your grandfather was 97. Your great grandpa was 97. Yeah. But rest in peace, Alan Mossberg. And thank you very much for the Mossberg 590 Sierra. He says, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, so moving on. That is my advice to you for today's Brownell's Bullet Points. If you are looking to do something, you say, well, I was about to jump on YouTube to find out how to with a gun. Now, if you're looking to make like the best toast or something, go to YouTube. But if you're looking for a video about how to disassemble, reassemble, add parts to, take parts away from a gun, I'd just go ahead and go to Brownells first, because those guys actually put in a lot of time and effort into the production of their videos. Or you can just go to YouTube and, have fun there. I will admit something, Jared. Thanks to the advent in technology and the improvement of these things right here, audio, the YouTube audio has gotten so much better. Would you say that's? Have you watched a YouTube video lately?
Yeah,
or a Full 30 video or a
Yep.
Slack video or whatever. It used to be some of them. The audio was so bad. I'm just like, no, nope. Not going to spend 7 minutes listening to this guy's audio. I'm out of here. But they've gotten smart. They've updated not just the cameras, but the microphones on these things. So it doesn't sound like you're talking into a tin can or through a paper towel tube anymore. All right. Duracoat, why?
Because life is too short to have an ugly gun.
Mm-hmm. That is true. That is true. If you are looking for a free complimentary gun, if you want to win a gun from our boys at SDS Imports, go to SOTGgiveaway.com and you can win one. Or well, you'll be eligible. If you're eligible, you will be eligible. All right. How's that sound? Does that sound like a good thing to you? You get that? Oh, man. Oh, and we didn't remind people to go to text BRN to 556-223.
556-223.
That's right, 556-223. 556-223, and they will let you know. They will send you a text. They won't blow your phone up, okay? They're not going to blow up your phone. They're just going to let you know when they have sales, deals, things in stock, so on and so forth. And, of course, there is also this thing that says notify me. So they're good about that, and I tested it. I hit the notify me thing, and 5 days later, I got a bing. Hey, hippie, you wanted us to let you know when this is in stock? Well, we're telling you. And I said, thank you very much. There you go. Oh, Zach, Jared, Zach, do you guys have anything else to say before we do the Shop SOTG?
I don't think so.
I do not either.
All right, well, hit it, man.
ShopSOTG.com is the perfect place to go if you are a student of the gun. Whether you want to expand your brain, increase your marksmanship, or help keep your family safe. All that, plus the pimp hand brands that you love. ShopSOTG.com has almost anything that an American patriot would want. Education, enlightenment, and entertainment, and we're open 24/7. Check out ShopSOTG.com today and see for yourself.
Yes, indeedy do. Indeedy do that. All right, cats and kittens, something we do every single Wednesday, and today is no exception. We have a Student of the Gun Homeroom, brought to you by Crossbreed Holsters. Before we get into this, I want to let you guys know, in case you don't do the socialist media, and I know a lot of you guys don't, the people at Crossbreed, the Craighead family, and everyone who works for them care so much about you and your customer experience that they already had their Christmas party. You're like, what does that have to do with anything? They had their Christmas party in November because they didn't want to have to take time off during the Christmas holiday shopping season to have their own party, because it's a busy time of year and they're so freaking dedicated to making sure that you get your holster, your belt, your mag pouch, whatever, that they already had their Christmas party, so that they don't have to take a break during the busy season to do it. That's how dedicated they are to you. You're like, wow, man, I should thank them. You should. You actually should. Well, the best way to thank them is to just, when you make a purchase, use the promo code SOTG. And they'll know that you came from us and that you love them and that we love them and all that. All right, Jared, what is the primary theme of the homeroom?
How to be dangerous on demand.
That's
or
right.
Being dangerous on demand.
Being dangerous on demand and the importance of that thing. So let's go ahead and jump right into the story here from newschannel5.com. Nashville on your side. Please.
Yeah, come on, buddy.
Come on, buddy.
It's
You
coming.
can see it.
There we go. Police. Suspect pulls gun during North Nashville church service. Disarmed by pastor. This is pretty cool. Zach, let me know when you got the video up and ready, and I will read this article.
Just got to get the sad.
Okay. The heroic actions of a pastor saved a congregation from violence on Sunday afternoon when a man pulled a gun during the service. According to Metro Police, 26-year-old Desiree Baganda was sitting at the front of the Nashville Light Mission Pentecostal Church on West Trinity Lane when he pulled a gun out and walked up to the altar where the pastor was praying with several members. Baganda reportedly told everyone to get up while he waved and pointed the handgun towards the congregation. We're so shocked seeing him come in the front and pull out a gun, the whole church was calm. We thank God if we started panicking, he may have started shooting around. But we all stayed calm, said Akamana Charit, a church member who witnessed that happen, or what happened.
Video is ready.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
This is a surveillance video from the church.
There's no audio, so.
Oh.
I don't think so.
A man whips out a gun during a church service in Nashville and tells the congregation he's Jesus.
And the heroic actions the pastor then took that kept everyone safe, as you see, all caught on camera. News Channel 5's Hannah McDonald takes us inside the church during the altercation.
In the middle of worship Sunday, when church
Not the right video.
Oh, it's a video at the top with surveillance footage in it. Should we keep going or should we stop?
Yeah. Go ahead and put the actual surveillance video up.
Oh, okay, it's down here.
It says, watch surveillance video below.
Well, you said it's a video, and then I opened it, and then there's surveillance, and then...
Yeah. In the pre-show discussion, I said where exactly it was.
Story.
So, well, while you're watching that ad, I'll continue the story. It says, that's when one of the pastors, I would say it's God using him, he went around on both sides. The guy went around on both sides. Okay. The guy with the gun was not paying attention to him. So he went around, and that's when he jumped on top of him and put him on the ground. According to the pastor, even though Baganda was not a member of the church, he had attended services there before. Baganda facing 57 counts, holy cow, of felony aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He is currently being held at Davidson County Detention Center on a $375,000 bond. He's due in court to answer to these charges on Wednesday, November 10th, which is today as we record.
Mm-hmm. All right, I got the new video done.
Okay. There we go. It's a video of a screen. If you watch, you can see the pastor here. He's praying with, it looks like 5 people or so. Or maybe those are flowers. So maybe there's just 2 or 3 people that are praying with the pastor.
Those are flowers.
Yeah, it looks like either people or flower arrangements. It's funny. And then you've got some people standing up in the front. There's a lady walking in the back. And there's a bunch of people sitting in the pews. And then there's on the sides, you can see that there's people sitting kind of looking towards the center of the room as well. And when I first watched this, I couldn't tell who the guy was that was going to pull the gun until the time comes where he does. Which happens about probably a minute into the video. So now that I know who it is, I can kind of see him checking his angles and seeing what's going to happen when he does stand up and pull out the gun.
So that doesn't help a lot of radio people. So let's.
Well, hold on. What happened to the video?
I don't know.
It went away.
It just scrolled down by itself.
That was fun. Well, you missed the exact point of when he stood up.
How amazing. I love this website.
Yep.
Oh, okay. That just as a quick aside, that website is garbage. It's such garbage. And it is amazing to me that professional broadcasters, professional content developers, a television channel has a website that's just garbage. I don't know. Maybe it's like, well, we don't care. We want people to watch us on TV. And you're like, okay. So long story short, we have this little program called Legion of Michael. And you're like, what? Where did that come from? I don't know what you're talking about.
And boom, you see the pastor tackle the guy. There you go.
And good for him for doing that. Now, there's several things. There's several things that we can learn from this. Number one is that no matter what the feelings of the congregants,
you can go ahead and pull it down, Zach.
Many congregants, when you approach them with the idea of coming up with a church security team, they get, oh no. Well, what are they going to do? And you're like, well, we're going to train them, and they're going to have radios, and they're going to have guns. They're like, oh, no. Guns have no place in God's house. Okay. You say that. Yes, I say that. But what about when young, what's this dude's name? Rabuka Makande or something like that? What about when he doesn't care about that? Well, what do you mean? Just because you think that guns don't have any place inside of God's house doesn't mean that the guy who's going to walk in and kill everyone feels the same way. Pretending that your feelings will stop Mr. Baganda here from walking in and whipping out a gun is childish. It's extremely childish. And, fortunately, nobody died here, but they could have. Well, what are you saying, Paul, that we should just, if somebody walks into church pulls out a gun, we should kill them? No, I'm saying that you should put enough projectiles in them that they stop misbehaving and doing what they're doing. That's what I'm saying. Guys, the really real world that we live in now is that this is all too common. Churches have become targets in America. When I was growing up, this was unheard of. It was literally unheard of. If this would have happened, it would have been national news nonstop for a week because it was so rare. What I'm betting is that you guys out there in the audience, unless you're really tight on our socialist media, you probably didn't hear about this. Zach, Jared, did you hear about this before you saw it in the show notes?
I did not.
It wasn't like headline news in Salt Lake City?
Nope.
No. You know why? Well, several reasons. Number one, nobody got killed, and so the media is like, well, there's no blood, we don't care. Number two, it wasn't a red hat wearing MAGA supporter. It wasn't a white nationalist who committed this crime. So that doesn't support the narrative that only evil white people go into churches and do bad things. So we're not going to talk about that. But this happens. And pretending that it'll never happen, or hoping that it'll never happen, or thinking that I don't believe that guns should be in churches. Okay, cool. That's your feeling. So you believe that feelings are going to stop evil men from doing evil things. No. Feelings don't stop evil men from doing evil things. Good men are what stops bad men. Good trained people are what stop bad men from doing bad things. We've done the best that I don't know if I could do any more, but the best that I possibly can for you guys. We created a website. It's called legionofmichael.com. We have a distance learning program. It's 4 full hours. It talks about not just guns, not just radios, but how to talk to your congregation, how to talk to your leadership, how to prepare individuals, how to do training, how to conduct training. It's all there. It's available to you, and you can enroll. Let me see. I'm going to click enrollment right at this very second. Enrollment is closed, but you can join the VIP waiting list by putting in your name and email.
It shouldn't be that way.
And the moment that enrollment is open, you will be notified.
Hey, Zach, buddy, check your Discord.
I also wrote a book called
This is unacceptable.
Legion of Michael, and it is a book. It is available as a Kindle or as a paperback on Amazon or wherever your Books A Million. No, it's not on Books A Million. Oh, you can get it at Walmart.com. Did you know that? You can go to Walmart.com and get the Legion of Michael book. Boom. It's called Legion of Michael, Defending the Flock, a comprehensive manual for protecting houses of worship. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. The fact of the matter is all this information's there, and hoping and pretending that your church is, you say, well, this is Nashville and stuff happens in Nashville, but things don't happen in where I live, in my little town. You mean like a little tiny town like, was it White Springs or White Plains, Texas? What was it? It was White something.
I can't remember.
Yeah, White whatever, White Plain, White Springs, White something, Texas, little tiny town. Folks, this can happen anywhere, anytime. That's like saying, well, where I live, bad things don't happen. Are there roads that lead to the town you live in? Because bad people get on roads and drive there. It's just the way it is. Hopefully it's not prevalent, but the fact is we don't want to live on hope and dreams and all that. We want to live on reality. So the moral of the story is, ladies and gentlemen, your church is not immune. Sadly, in the United States of America today, churches are targets for lunatics. And what you going to do? Who are you going to call? There you go.
Ghostbuster.
That's right. Whom are you going to phone? All right, we're going to go ahead and continue with something we didn't have time to talk about on Monday. And this is a story that Jared found and we didn't have time to discuss. but it's from U.S. News and World Report. Explainer. Is I don't get that.
I guess it's explaining. It's
Is this person an explainer?
I don't know. This was published November 3rd, 2021. It says Rittenhouse plane, part of widespread surveillance. The FBI surveillance plane that captured footage of the night Kyle Rittenhouse was shot 3 people during a protest against police brutality in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
A riot.
Last year was part of a wider government strategy to keep tabs on demonstrations against racial injustice.
Really, was it?
Prosecutors working to convict Kyle Rittenhouse in the shootings of 3 people during a protest against police brutality in Wisconsin have introduced as evidence surveillance video taken from an FBI airplane circling thousands of feet above the chaos. Rittenhouse killed, blah, blah, blah. We already know that. So here we go. It says, has the government used planes to monitor past protests? Yes. Aerial surveillance of protests is actually very common. According to an August 2020 Air Force Inspector General report, the National Guard used surveillance planes to watch over demonstrations in Washington, D.C., Minnesota, Arizona, and California after George Floyd's death in Minneapolis that May. The FBI used aircraft to monitor protests in Ferguson, Missouri, following the 2014 police shooting of Michael Brown, and in Baltimore to track protests following Freddie Gray's death in police custody in 2015. Democrat Barack Obama was president during both of those events. Law enforcement also used aerial surveillance to monitor a white nationalist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia in 2017 that turned deadly. Republican Donald Trump was president at that time. An Associated Press investigation in 2015 found that the FBI had built a fleet of at least 50 surveillance planes that flew more than 100 flights over 11 states during a 1-month span in the spring of that year under the Obama administration, being 2015. The AP traced the planes to at least 13 fake companies designed to obscure the identity of the aircraft and pilots.
Why would they need to do that?
That's a good question. The AP review also found that the Drug Enforcement Administration had at least 92 surveillance aircrafts as of 2011 under Obama. The U.S. Marshal Service also has operated its own aerial surveillance program. Ashley Gorski, an American Civil Liberties Union attorney who specializes in surveillance issues, said government agencies clearly flew more aerial surveillance missions during Black Lives Matter protests last year when Trump was president. The result here was particularly aggressive, she said. It does seem the response was unusual and unprecedented. What kind of technology? And then there's a question, is this legal? Generally, yes. Aerial surveillance of people in public spaces is legal and is no different than a video camera mounted on a light pole, said William McGivern, a University of Minnesota law professor who specializes in data privacy and free speech. Government agencies do not need a warrant to conduct such surveillance. However, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in 2018 that extended surveillance of an individual over a large area is illegal. And the Fourth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in June that the Baltimore Police Department's 6-month trial aerial surveillance program was unconstitutional because the plane's wide-angle cameras put virtually all city residents under surveillance for 12 hours a day. The ruling came after Black activists sued the city. Government agencies can impose limitations on their own programs as well. The Air Force report found that the National Guard never got the required authorization from the Secretary of Defense or the Secretary of the Army to launch aerial surveillance of the Floyd protests. A spokesperson for the FBI's Milwaukee field office, which is responsible for Kenosha, didn't immediately respond a message seeking comment. The FBI's National Press Office also didn't reply to an email.
Mm-hmm. This goes back to the original statement or the original assertion that we made on Monday, is that the Federal Bureau of Investigation only has the authority to conduct investigations of federal crimes. And in a state, in a sovereign state like Minnesota or Wisconsin or Texas or Wyoming or wherever, a protest or a riot or whatever, widespread arson and looting and so forth might seem like a really bad thing, and it is, but it's not a federal crime. It has nothing to do with federal law. You go back to Amendment 10. The fact of the matter is, you're like, well, it's not illegal for the FBI to be doing this. Okay. They don't have any jurisdiction there, so why are they doing it? And who told them to do it? And the fact that, they point out in this story that derp occurred during the reign of Comrade Barry Soetoro, derp occurred during the Trump presidency. What that shows you is regardless of whether it's a Democrat president or a Republican president, it's the FBI who is doing this stuff. And it matters not. They're like, oh, Trump's FBI is, I love how they say Trump's FBI. Like Trump was ever in charge of or commanding the FBI. It was the FBI that was trying to undermine his presidential candidacy. It was the FBI that prior to his election was trying to basically stymie his election. It was the FBI that used fraudulent and evidence, who created a case based upon lies to try and impeach Donald Trump. The idea that they're like, see, this shows that Trump's FBI was monitoring black people. Come on. You got to be smarter than that. What this lays out here is that regardless of who the president is, the FBI has decided internally that they are America's Gestapo, that they are America's KGB, they are the American secret police. And they're going to do whatever it is they want to do, and you're not going to stop them, whether it's Comrade Barry or Donald Trump or whomever. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the problem. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what you should be concerned about. You should be concerned about a rogue FBI that has granted itself the authority. And what is this with created fake companies? 13 fake companies. That's CIA crap. Fake companies to disguise the identity of the aircraft and the pilots used to conduct surveillance on the American people.
The government's been doing that for a long time.
Does that sound like something that is acceptable to you in the United States of America?
What's interesting is that corporate people do this as well. They establish foundations that they are founders and board members of, but they hide behind the information of who are the public supporters or public leaders of those foundations. And so I believe that this tactic has been done by the government and private entities for a long, long time.
Well, here's the thing. A private entity is a private entity. It's their money. They can do what they want. The government are supposed to be public servants, and they take our money to engage in this behavior. That's not okay. Say, well, I own a company, and I'm going to buy another company, and I'm going to make myself the CEO of the third company. Okay, fine. I don't care. Because I can either buy your products or not buy your products. With the United States government, you don't have a choice. You are their customer at gunpoint. You're going to give them your money at gunpoint. That's not at gunpoint. Well, what happens if you don't give them your money? Well, they send men with guns to your house. Yeah, exactly. It is not okay for the FBI to be conducting surveillance through 13 fake companies across the United States when they don't have jurisdiction on riots or protests or rallies or arson or whatever. This should be a top news story. This should be what the imbeciles on the Sunday news shows are talking about all day long. Why is the U.S. government taking, and how much are they spending on this? How many millions of dollars of our tax money are they spending to create these 13 fake companies to surveil us? And if the media wasn't run by a bunch of liars and criminals, they would be talking about this nonstop until we all got answers. And as we pointed out, it's not a Republican administration or a Democrat administration that's responsible for this. We have the inside the Beltway ruling class, whether there's a D or an R or whatever. They're in Washington. They're the ruling class, and they're going to do whatever they want. And they're going to do it with your money. And you better give them your money, or they're going to send men with guns to come take you away. That's not okay. All right, where are we at, producer man? All right.
We're at wrap-up time.
All right. Well, we have... Did you guys see the May story about the waitress who posted a photo of her paycheck, and her paycheck was 1 cent?
Yes, but I haven't got to
that, yes.
do
Well,
much
I did
research other than that
and
one article.
Pretty much everyone in the whole world missed the point, but Paul Markle didn't, and we're going to talk about that because it's a bonus hour and we talk about whatever we want to talk about. We got leadership, how to raise a leader. We've got a fighting fitness segment for you, and then the Markle method. All that is going to be a fantastic good time. You're going to want to make sure that you're there, and it is on the Student of the Gun episode 1107 part 2 grad program episode. Now, if you're listening live, you can join us by going to where, Jared?
GetSOTG.com. And that's if you're listening live right now and you don't have access to the grad program channels, go to GetSOTG.com, join that, and then you will have access. We're going to take a 10 to 15 minute intermission here and then come back and we will start the bonus hour, the first of the 2 bonus hours.
There you go.
About 15 minutes. So you have 15 minutes to go to GetSOTG.com and join. There's a trial there, so you don't have to even pay the full price to try it out. You try it out for $1.
You can
super easy.
You can order some Chinese food and get yourself some grad program all at the same time.
Yeah.
Remember, kids, you're a beginner once.
You're a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.
All right, that was that episode. I just want to say I'm sorry that the Legion Michael is not currently available. I'm going to fix that right now.
It's available now.
It's available now?
Yeah.
Right.
If you go to legionmichael.com, click the Enroll Now button, you can join.
Yeah, you can join in right now. So, yeah, you guys go ahead and do that, and we'll be back in like 15 minutes or so.